DJ podcast. My name is David James. Brought you in on a nature owl, and nature crickets and stuff like that. This is my gift for you, the name of the podcast. I don't say it enough for some reason. It's just something weird about the whole thing. This episode, I want to talk about manifestation and kind of something that has helped me put into perspective how to manifest something. I want to talk about how spirituality has really changed my life. And it's because of the basics of spirituality is kind of defining yourself, who you want to be, what type of person you want to be, what type of life you want to live, and things like that. And a big one for me recently is I feel like, well, I met somebody, and I've never felt so passionate. I've never felt so passionate about the person that I've recently met. I met them a week ago. It was the New Year's Eve 2023 going into 2024. A little bit before that. And, I went into it using my spirituality. Really, really using it to guide me. Really using it to guide me along the entire path from rewriting my profile so it doesn't look like just some standard dating profile. I really kind of put my soul down onto it. I even talked about spirituality in the profile because I really wanted, it's something I value. I really wanted to find someone that had that value that I have, that same, able to look in on my, on their, able to look in on themselves and self-reflect and really figure out their lives, and their life and me figuring out my life. And I really truly believe that if the both of us put our energy together and try and manifest something, it's just simply going to be amazing, and that's what you want manifestation to be. Someone said to me, I don't remember if it was a TikTok or something in real life, where they said that you want to manifest a feeling instead of an idea. A feeling. And I sat down, loose clothing on my floor, in the meditation pose that I use, and listening to the meditation sounds. And this was a month, maybe a month and a half now ago. And I cleared my mind. Like I always tell people, whenever you're in meditation, sometimes it helps for me to sit down, put on the meditation sounds, and physically say the words out loud that are on my mind and push them out. That's how I clear my mind. I push them out and I let it just kind of whoosh away. And this process of clearing your mind can take 10 minutes. And I think that's what a lot of people have trouble with, meditation and manifesting, and especially trying to manifest something through meditation. You just need to get down to the very basic phrase. And I was just repeating the phrase and controlling my breathing and focusing on my breathing. But I was repeating the phrase, just love and happiness and success. Like love, happiness, success. And breathing like love, happiness, success, love, happiness, success. And this was going through my head. And then when I finally hit this moment, I got an answer, and it said, you'll know when you meet the person. It will be so obvious to you. It'll be so obvious to you. When you meet this person, it'll just be like waking up in a new world. And I'm always talking about shifting your frequency and shifting your vibrations and stuff like that. I'm always, that's a lot about this podcast, is raising your frequency, heading towards your highest passion, And as I was doing it, I was just thinking to myself, like that's the goal, to raise the frequency. And me and her met. We met online, but we met physically at a bar. And then 2 days later, it was New Year's, and I invited her over, and she slept over, and we just cuddled. Just leaving any extreme physical contact out of it. It wasn't the goal. It wasn't the goal of the night. And just knowing when you meet someone, honestly, a lot of people put a lot of pressures on themselves. A lot of pressures on themselves where they kind of do, and I think this is a huge problem with society and relationships these days, is we do a list think. Like they'll be like, let's be best friends, then let's be boyfriend girlfriend, then let's be engaged, and let's get married. The first date is meant for this, the second date is meant for that, the third date is the date, And it's like no, we need to stop with trying to plan. We're trying to plan everything, especially with relationships. Like if you try and plan out your job or your career, it's different. But that was the big thing I want to get to, is I was trying to manifest a feeling, like just a super loving feeling. And I have to tell you that it was maybe the next day after New Year's, when we finally had our first kiss, our first real kiss. My heart almost exploded out of its chest, out of my chest. It was the passion I felt between me and her was the most powerful feeling in the world. Like when people ask, like, how do you know when you finally met someone? How do you know them when you're in love? Well, you will know. You will know. You won't question it. And then we hung out a few more times and been having a lot of fun together. And it's like every single step of the way has just been perfect. And it was weird. I mentioned her to one of my coworkers, a younger coworker of mine, and she goes, "Well, did you declare being boyfriend and girlfriend?" And I took a step back, and I almost thought to myself, what a strange thing that we have to declare boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, wasn't that the point of meeting on the app? I put an app together to meet somebody, but I've met so many people where it's that's not their actual goal on the app. They have all these alternative goals, and it's wild dating these days. I before this particular girl I'm with now, there was 2 or 3 just bad dates, or people I met where we really didn't connect, didn't feel anywhere close to the same connection. So it was strange when I went up to the girl I know now, and I asked her are we? I just want to check in and be are we boyfriend girlfriend? Are we dating? And she kind of gave me a what? It kind of took her aside a bit, and she thought I was just looking for a label. And she said, yeah, if you want to put a label on it, sure. But somehow I knew that it was a silly question. I felt kind of silly asking the question and thinking about the question, all of a sudden it hit me I don't need to ask these questions. I don't need to ask these weird typical questions, because this was the feeling that I manifested. It was the feeling that I manifested, and when it hit me, when it finally hit me, wow, this is true manifestation. This is true. I wanted this, I got it, and I'm just letting it happen. I'm just letting it happen. I'm letting us just fall in love so naturally. And it feels so good. It feels so good to fall in love in such a natural feel. You know, like I said, I I remember when we kissed, my heartbeat must have been a million. It must have been a million miles per second. Like it was just like, and it was like I almost had to sit down. Like she weakened my knees, you know, and I felt alive again. I felt alive again, like manifesting something like that I really wanted. I just felt it. I felt it in the air, in my bones, and boy, the rest has just been so easy with her. It's not like a struggle at all. You know, we're and everything's just flowing. It's flowing so perfectly. She wants to meet my friends. I want to meet her friends. I want to meet everything. And I want to know her. I want to know her so much, in and out, all around. You know, and it's like, wow. And I'm not even worried about these list things like date, engaged, get married. You know, these things that are set. These phrases are set by society in a way where it's like, as soon as you meet someone, they go, "When's the wedding?" It almost feels like immediately people start talking and say, hold up. If it gets there, it'll be there. If it feels right, I'll ask her. There'll be a moment. You know, we've already like said, oh yeah, we're gonna spend the rest of our lives together. You know, like that's what it already feels like. And so but I think about how today's relationships don't just let them happen and be relationships. Like things aren't just like, you know, relationships seem so forced these days, is what I'm trying to say. And it's like, oh, I have to meet someone. And then if I meet them, then I have to do this. And if I do this, then we have to do that. If we do that, then we have to do this. And it's like these checklists that are brought upon us. You know, it's like, oh, we got to make it Facebook official. We got to make it social media official. You know, whatever it is. She has to like all my social media stuff that I do. You know, it's like, no, we just need to be. We just need to be. You know what I mean? Just be ourselves. And it's like she's hanging out. She says that she might hang out with some friends tonight. I'm not, you know, there's been so many relationships where that sparks like, ooh, aren't you worried that she's gonna like talk to some of the male friends? And no, I'm not. I'm nowhere near worried. I'm not worried about her loyalty to me. Her like, and what I mean by that, just being faithful, being like faithful to me. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about the you know the trust between us, and just a short amount of time is already really great. And I don't think we're looking for these checklist feels, you know, or this checklist feel. It's so hard for me to explain. It's like if you were to just sit down and go, like, especially if you're single, or if you know, you're single or starting a new relationship, I think we all kind of do it. Like, oh, I want my next person to be A, and then B, and then C, and D, and then do number 1, number 2, number 3 with me. And it's like, just relax. Just relax and let it happen. You know, stop trying to compartmentalize everything into this box. Just go with the feel. Just go with the feel of it. Your highest self, you know, your soul will guide you to the right feeling. That's what I'm finding. It's everything I thought it would be. You know, where I've been preaching on this podcast for a while, Let your highest self guide you. It's like, I went over to her place. There's no pressure. She comes over to my place. There's no pressure. We watch TV. We smoke a little. And it's just fun. It's relaxing. And I don't worry about any of the physical stuff. And I just love it. We cuddle, we snuggle. She's so warm. She's so warm. She always says I'm warm too. I just love it. I just love it. And even in this short relationship, I say I love her, and it feels right. I said it to her because it felt right. I didn't worry about it being too early on in the relationship. I didn't worry about it being like, oh, who's gonna say it first? Like all this dumb shit that I've done in the past with relationships. Oh, when should I text her next? When should I say I love you? When you feel it. That's as simple as it is. When you feel it, and when you feel it and it's right, it will be right. You know what I mean? And then another thing, I think people, another thing that spirituality, people searching through spirituality forget is that spirituality will help you have standards in your relationships, standards in your work relationships too, standards in your friends' relationships. We should always be aiming towards our standards. But one thing I want to say is, especially in relationships, I've defined standards for myself ever since becoming spiritual, right? And it's like I wanted to meet someone who isn't heavy into drinking, maybe drinks a little bit, but really really respects the fact that I spent a long time, like 21 to like, I don't know, 26, 27. I was drunk most days of my life. Let's say 21 to 25. I was drunk every day of my life. Every single day I was drunk. My personality was alcohol. That's what it used to be. And it took me a long time to break my drinking habits and to really control the alcohol without the alcohol controlling me. I've talked about that before in the past, and I use it a lot because it's a struggle that a lot of people have. And it's good. It's good to meet people that match that. You don't want to meet someone and have everything be perfect except they drink too much. And as soon as someone doesn't meet your standards, especially in an early relationship, you should just drop them. It's not worth your time or energy. I met a bad relationship A. We're super messy. I'm not about being super messy. I hate being super messy. She was gross. It's like we're just gonna throw that one out. Bad relationship B. Had no trust, zero trust. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth to hold her or to kiss her. It wasn't worth any of that time. It wasn't worth it. And now I found someone, and boy, the checklist now is the checklist of standards. Doesn't have an alcohol problem. Has herself put together. Tries really hard. Is passionate. Is loving. Is caring. Is a good mom. These things are really important to me. That she really cares about family, being friendly too. Cares about family. Cares about those types of things. She left. It's her story to tell, so I won't tell it. But I'll just say that we both had our troubles in the past, and I realize that. It's looking at how both of us have really risen up from the ashes. Like they say, the phoenix rises from the ashes, you know, the flames of the phoenix, and then all of a sudden it rises again. It's almost like that. Like we both did that. And then we found each other at the perfect time, at the perfect moment. And it just feels so good. You know, I'm meeting her standards. She's meeting my standards. We both feel like we want each other. And it's so sweet. It's so sweet. It's the sweetest, most innocent, pure love I've ever felt in my life. And I'm loving it. I'm running with it too. I'm gonna pick her up and super I just want to hug her, you know. Anyways, so I've manifested this feeling, and it worked. I sat down and did the meditation, and it worked. And it feels so good when something like that finally comes together. And for a while it's like, boy, this isn't working, you know. You keep thinking, oh, I'm gonna manifest the right person, I'm gonna, and you know, you have some misses. But you have to realize that each person that I missed with is really just proof that I've grown a lot. You know, it's not that I did anything wrong, but that's not why those relationships didn't work. Those 1 or 2 day long relationships, but nonetheless they were relationships. You know, I think one of them was a week, and it just, you know, immediately I didn't feel it. But growing, the real growth is being honest with yourself, being true to yourself, and saying, hey, this relationship isn't working, so I'm going to move on. And that was a huge step, was to not just grab onto the next thing, the next person that comes up randomly. It felt kind of good, you know. You meet someone, it's better than not meeting someone. But if you meet the wrong person, boy, does that feel horrible. Or if you put a lot of energy into the wrong person, that feels even worse. So I'm so glad that I've saved the energy for the right person, you know. I just want to be with her, and she just wants to be with me. And we check in with each other all day. And it we just said to ourselves today, it feels like I've known you a lifetime, you know. And that feeling of knowing someone like a lifetime, you know. And she said, where have you been my whole life? Like how did we meet? Like kind of figuratively, like, where have you been? And I said to her, well, going through hell, going through to hell and back, and rebuilding yourself takes a long time to find love at the end of the tunnel, you know. And it's like, boy, when I wrote it, I don't even know where those words came from. You know, they came from my heart, though. It's like we both went through our own personal hells with our previous relationships. And here we are on the other side of this tunnel, and it's like, wow, hi, you're a person with personality, and you like me, and you want to be with me. Wow, that feels good. It feels so good to finally to feel like I'm with somebody. To feel like I'm with somebody just feels so good. And I just want to tell everybody. You know, I just love it. But anyways, the main point I'm trying to make is, when you're trying to manifest something, go for a feeling. Don't go for a very particular item. Don't go for a very particular thing. Just go for a feeling. Wealth and prosperity. What do you think that feels like? You know what I mean? If you don't know, well, meditate on it. Try to get an answer. You know, what does love feel like? You know, just kind of think in your heart. You'll know. Maybe there won't ever be any words to put to it, like in a mantra or in a meditation phrase. But sometimes you kind of just meditate on a feeling. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of get that feeling of this is the right path. This is the right motion. And trust me, when it hits, it will hit you hard. And that, my friends, is a good feeling. Anyways, I'm gonna leave with that. You know, just Dave, DJ Podcast, David James, and we're just gonna make it a really short, loving podcast today, and there it is. We're gonna take you back out on the meditation sounds.